trees are down a giant piece.
It looked normal, just really heavy rain.
Here's some roots. There's giant roots. You can see the trash can. It's right here. We were just in our living room, just watching a movie. Suddenly the rain just stopped, and my mom heard a loud sound.
A really loud roaring sound came through.
We saw the tornado, then we're like, oh shoot. And then we ran into the bathroom. And I was like, it's okay. My dad said, it's gonna be over soon, and then it's over. We decided we should start cleaning it up.
Great neighbors.
It got really loud for a second, then it was just dead quiet.
It could have been a lot worse.
We hid like we were supposed to, and we were safe, so.
Nothing happened to the house besides like all that over there fell off the side. I know it's gonna be okay because everybody around the neighborhood's driving around cleaning up.
Trees down, wires down, fences down, little damage to the house, but lots of damage, but you can replace things, you know, so luckily everybody seems to be fine.
This is my first ever tornado. We all work together, and all this is gonna turn into our normal community again.
It's not Christmas. It's not Christmas lights. This is a crime scene. This is a crime scene.
1034 North Mountain Street, the Western District.
This one is hard.
I'm trying to get her. She won't answer the phone for me. She said that she went over there to go drop.
10-4, I'm requesting medic.
2 days before New Year's. And this is where we at. This is where we are. I don't know if this is a homicide case, but we lost a lot of people this year.
7-year-old, type 1 male,
This one is hard. You hear the family. You can hear them still crying and screaming and hollering.
You can't give me money.
I think he's not going to stop running. He's gone. The other two is in the alleyway in Forge Park.
It's just a hurting feeling. It's a hurting feeling.
We are on the scene in the Western.
7-year-old gone. Won't return back to school next year.
Officers were led to a home in the middle of the block, and upon entering, located a small male child in the upstairs portion of the residence with gunshot trauma to the head. Unfortunately, we received news that the child has died from his injury.
Just lost for words right now.
We will bring justice and hold whoever is responsible and accountable to the full extent of the law.
I'll take my part, I'll do my part each and every day. And that's to push them, that's to push Monty, that's to make sure that we're doing our thing. And we're doing that. But we have to do more. Everyone has to do more.
And I just ask that everybody just keep the family in prayer. Keep the family in prayer. Our children is dying in the city of Baltimore by handguns. It's just a hurting feeling. It's a hurting feeling.
I want to have 2 different calls. It's their call.
Ronnie Wolf remembers coming here 80 years ago.
They used to fish right there where that marker is now.
Today, he brought his wife, Margaret.
She's just here for the coffee and donut.
And a pair of binoculars.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3.
Trying to count the containers.
4, 5, 6.
On the Ever Forward.
7, 8, 9.
Which hasn't moved forward in 9 days.
Well, he's on his way out, apparently. Obviously, he's trying to leave the bay when he got stuck.
Like many in Maryland.
Don't seem to be bothering the ducks out there. There's baby ducks out there.
This couple is wondering how the container ship ran aground in the bay on its way from the port of Baltimore to Norfolk, Virginia.
Maybe a little nap or something was required. Somebody wasn't watching.
The port says there's no impact to operations, as the Ever Forward's not blocking the channel for other ships. But the sight of this nearly 1,100-foot vessel,
well, we saw it on the news and we thought, hey, this is someplace to go and something to do,
has become a bit of a tourist attraction at Downs Park in Pasadena.
We thought it would be kind of interesting to come out here and see how this is progressing, which right at the moment doesn't look like it's progressing at all.
This Ellicott City couple,
make it a lighthouse or something, or maybe a reef.
Also out on a day date, binoculars in tow.
Yeah.
I mean, this is way aground. This isn't like we missed a channel by that much. We missed it big time.
Anne Arundel County leaders say they're keeping tabs on progress.
Our Office of Emergency Management is just staying in touch with the state on this. We don't have a role to play in the dredging process. I've threatened to go out there and try to help, but I don't think I'd be much help out there.
I was really surprised when it was sitting out there.
As crews continue their work to move this ship out of the mud.
At least he'll learn a lesson. The captain there will probably learn something from this.
I'm lucky today.
Outsider's Tobacco Shop.
3, 2.
Mr. Abdul playing a game with a friend. The only noise getting attention now is the roll of the dice. There's peace on the block in Federal Hill. Nothing like what spilled into the streets after a late night Friday on Charles Street. Several people fighting on the block, at times blocking traffic. A brutal brawl captured on video.
I've been here more than 12 years. We don't see that happen before like that.
And City Councilman Eric Costello, who represents the area, doesn't want to see something like that again. He's calling on Baltimore police to boost patrol and step up enforcement to prevent the city from, quote, losing the neighborhood. His push coming in a tweet today after several weekends of violence and chaos erupting in Federal Hill. His request sent in a letter this week to the mayor's office and BPD asking for extra deployment, including a mounted police unit and SWAT to be deployed this weekend.
I think that's a little excessive. These are things that are not planned. These are things that are just happening.
But if it, turns into a police versus the crowd type situation, it could become a bigger deal. So
Costello also included in his letter an investigative report from the Board of Liquor License Commissioners detailing reports of disorderly conduct in Federal Hill with, quote, an overwhelming amount of people walking with opal bottles of liquor. Costello with business owners now calling for a crackdown by police.
I told you I'm lucky.
Business owners like Mr. Abdul calling it a winning move.
Game over. It is a good thing.
It's a father's desperate plea.
He's not going to be alive. That's what I'm afraid of.
His attempt, he says, to save his son.
It's progressively getting worse.
Santiago didn't want his last name used, and we won't identify his 14-year-old son. But he came to Fox 45 to share his story, he says, of a child gone wild.
Then you started breaking into cars to steal cigarettes and change. Then you're stealing cars and running from the police.
Not even old enough to drive, the boy he claims on a carjacking crime spree from Baltimore to D.C., sharing the charging documents. Arrested earlier this year, Santiago says this is about his son and a friend. A tale of 2 stolen cars, a Lexus and a Honda CRV, then a high-speed chase.
Flying down Route 4, going over 100 miles an hour, in and out of traffic.
He says his son nearly took the lives of 2 police officers trying to stop him.
They was trying to barricade in, so instead of stopping, pushed the gas and tried to drive right through him, knocked him out of his shoes.
A story he believes illustrates exactly what is fueling juvenile crime in Baltimore and beyond, including surrounding counties, the several that his son has been arrested in. Because he says for all this, his child has never faced serious consequences.
This isn't even about my son. This is about Baltimore City's kids. This is about all juvenile delinquents.
For his 14-year-old, he says all but one of the 19 charges dropped. Threatened, he says, when he tried to teach him a lesson.
I got the call from Prince Frederick County and Calvert County telling me that they had him in custody, and they told me what that happened and stuff, and I said, you know what? Let him stay there until his court date. He needs to learn. Let him stay there. No, sir. You have 6 hours to get here to get him, or we will be coming to get you for neglect and abandonment issues.
A father who believes his son needs to be punished, to be rescued.
I want my son to get some help. I mean, if it's jail, that's what it's going to take, then jail. What I think my son needs, he needs some mental help.
It's not a river.
That's the 900 block of Stricker. This is the 1500 block of West Lafayette.
But a cascade of questions about water quality from residents in West Baltimore.
It's affecting a whole community of people, not just one block, but affecting a whole community of residents who live in West Baltimore.
On this Labor Day, also a city holiday. Baltimore DPW posting a series of tweets around 7:45 this morning. Those posts say coliform and E. coli were found in water samples from the Engine 8 fire station and 2 Baltimore police facilities. DPW said systems are being flushed, like this hydrant outside of Engine 8.
Something is wrong with the water
But as a precaution,
in the neighborhood.
the city also said it's sampling water in the surrounding community. And instead of directly establishing a water boil advisory, DPW tweeted, quote, residents may want to consider boiling any water used from faucets.
I'm not drinking it. I don't really drink faucet water anyway.
This woman in Sandtown, Winchester, unaware of the possible water contamination until a DPW worker went door to door with this emergency notification around lunchtime.
So you can't live without water.
We're allowed with 1 gallon.
Oh, that's what they told
One bottle, yeah, 1 bottle.
More city workers set up at the corner of North Calhoun and West Lafayette to hand out jugs of water.
Passing it out.
And that 1 gallon of water is not going to cut it for people in the household. So 1 gallon of water is not going to work. Let's do right by the people that serve and pay taxes in the community, and the seniors and the young people. Now, what about the school tomorrow?
President of the Baltimore Fire Union says they learned of possible contamination yesterday afternoon, and nobody from Engine 8 has reported getting sick. This hydrant at North Arlington and Riggs Avenue also being flushed today.
It's crazy that they didn't let us know yet. They just been flushing it.
This man also unaware of why, but tells Fox 45 News kids were playing in the open hydrant just yesterday.
What about tomorrow?
Baltimore City is home to nearly 15,000 vacant properties.
It's been like it's too long, and no one has done anything about it.
Entire streets left boarded up, and trees are literally growing out of homes.
You got the houses down there that y'all looking at here on Booth Street. A tree in the middle of it. There's a tree growing out of the house over here.
The appalling abandonment has neighbors like Lynette Copeland worrying for their safety.
It's really dangerous because you have a lot of people that go in there and do their drugs. Of course, you have the poor animals that goes in there, and then people go in there.
But the crumbling foundations are not only a danger to the community, they're even more of a hazard to our first responders.
We just had a collapse. Mayday, mayday, mayday.
It was January 24th of this year when 3 firefighters, Lieutenant Paul Buttram, Kelsey Sadler, and Kenny Lacayo, lost their lives after a vacant row home on Stricker Street collapsed in a fire. Now, 9 months later, a small step on the road to preventing another tragedy.
Our goal is to make sure that we clearly tag and document all of the unsafe vacant homes within our communities.
The fire department launched the Unsafe Vacant Marking Initiative to help first responders identify dangerous vacant homes and buildings before entering.
We have nearly 700 properties within Baltimore City that we have considered unsafe. So beginning today and every Wednesday thereafter, firefighters will spend 2 hours trying to cover all the communities within Baltimore City.
Firefighters along the 2200 block of Booth Street attached these red reflective signs to nearly every home on the block Wednesday. Engine 14 donning the names of Kenny Lacayo and Kelsey Sadler, a part of the effort. The program is a reboot of Code X-Ray, where red signs with white X's were placed on the outside of blighted properties in 2010. Lynette remembers it well.
I didn't have a problem with it because I knew it was to protect somebody.
But it was short-lived. Funding ran out, and neighbors complained the signs were an eyesore.
Why? See, it shouldn't have. It shouldn't have taken it. And the people that were complaining about the way it looked wonder what they feel now, that these firefighters are dead.
In 2014, after a 62-year-old Baltimore fire lieutenant fell through the hole in a vacant row home and died, the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health recommended Baltimore Fire begin marking vacants that are unsafe again. But they've gone nearly a decade without doing so.
Why did it take this long, the death of 3 firefighters in January, for the fire department to start marking unsafe vacant homes?
Well, it was around 2010 when we had a program similar to what we're doing now, our Unsafe Vacant Marking Initiative. And it was I believe, coined Code Red X-ray. It was a pilot program then, and it was under a different administration. And here we are, 2022, implementing or trying to reestablish those safety efforts. But it's not a matter of a length of time. What we are really concerned about now is moving forward and how we can continue to protect our community.
We questioned Blair Adams, a spokesperson for the fire department, who says firefighters were still aware when a vacant home wasn't safe.
We still have our CAD, our computer-aided dispatch system. So when a firefighter is dispatched to a call, we can see in our system if in fact it is a vacant or not.
We have a tremendous amount of row homes in Baltimore.
But Josh Fannin, president of the local 964 Baltimore Fire Officers Union, says the CAD system hasn't always been reliable. The Stricker Street home, where the 3 firefighters died, had been vacant for more than a decade and on fire once before, but firefighters that day had no idea.
The only mechanism to alert firefighters to that is either their own experience that they were there at the previous fire. There is certain files in the CAD, but they're not directly accessible to units on the scene. So there really is no mechanism to notify somebody that they're going to be operating at an address which was the scene of a previous fire.
And while today many would rather see the vacant homes torn down,
I really would wish that the city would get rid of these houses.
they're hopeful this is a positive start.
No, I just hope that this will do something.
In this stormy corner of Catonsville,
I'd love to know how they do that.
the party
Oh, I put it in a bag.
is almost on.
Nice that you have lost one. More people playing now. That's why they got more centers like this.
What's up, DC? How you doing?
Just hoping that you can hit something every once in a while.
5,000. A $5 scratch off. Yeah, we were shocked.
At this lottery lounge on Highway 40, you'll find dozens of players picking
You
4,
got the 500, 550?
scratching 5,
Playing
5 digits for the night.
and dreaming forever about $1 million payday.
Maybe you'll win, maybe you won't. If you don't, it's not a big deal.
And I got the 550.
But lately, the state's lottery games have been clouded with questions. A recent audit of the state lottery agency revealed that in a 1-year period, 8 players had won the lottery's top prize 200 or more times. In the state's Pick 4 game, where the odds of winning are 1 in 10,000, auditors found one player had won the game's $5,000 top prize 79 times in a 1-year period.
79 times in 1 year? Wow, that's amazing.
I want to know, how did they cheat and do it? Because you have so many people that have not even won once.
Auditors in Pennsylvania are raising similar questions. A recent audit of that state's lottery found that the same 17 players had won top lottery prizes 50 or more times.
This has nothing to do with lottery products. They are completely secure. We are talking about whether or not the person claiming the winning prize is doing something they shouldn't.
In Pennsylvania, auditors urged the Attorney General to investigate. In Maryland, auditors urged an investigation by the Lottery Commission to identify patterns of potential collusion between players and lottery-related vendors or officials.
If you have certain people that are always winning, you have to wonder.
I think something internal is going on, unless this person has so much money that they can just constantly play continuously all the time and play for a large amount of money. Then I guess your chances of winning is more.
In Maryland, lottery officials say they're now working to identify questionable practices. And while the news has raised suspicion,
You guys ready?
it has also fueled hope that someday
Thank you, TC.
other players
Always 18.
could win a top prize
Is that for real?
79 times in 1 year.
Ooh, where they at? And what they know?
Lottery officials tell us tonight they are taking corrective action, which was recommended by auditors, but they will not discuss exactly what that action involves. Jeff Abel, Fox 45 News.
Today is the 49th annual Mayor's Christmas Parade.
I guess just the sound. I started playing drums when I was 2 years old. It was one of my favorite things to do as a drummer, just learning different chops.
He's phenomenal. When you see him, you'll understand exactly what I mean.
Yeah, it sounds great.
I lost my vision when I was 6 years old to cancer. I had bilateral retinoblastoma. When I first lost my vision, I was still trying to see, if that makes sense.
I don't know too many people that can play that are sighted that can play the drum the way he plays it.
It's in Santa Claus. As me being blind, I was just like, I have to work twice as hard as everyone else to find a different way of doing it. I view it as an opportunity. There's always an opportunity to prove yourself.
His work ethic with the drums he wants to do it. He does not want to not do it.
It was just waking up every day, being depressed. Oh, I can't do it. I never could do it. After I told myself I can't, I was like, I'm gonna make my list of I can longer than my list of I can. Every challenge that I had, I just faced it head on. I feel as though a lot of disabled people have secret talents that no one ever really, sits down to try to notice. We just want to be treated just like everyone else. That's all I really can ask for all the disabled people. Just give us a chance to try.
More than 100 days, this has become the reality for Ernest Hodges Jr. On the promenade, the same place people stretch their legs for scenic strolls, Hodges sleeps in a tent.
It keeps us warm, and it's my heater.
Struggling just to stay alive.
A bunch of blankets to try from the freezing temperatures.
The former chef says in a past life he would walk this waterfront on his way to work. But on November 2nd, his life took a turn.
I had an opportunity to open my own business doing roadside. I came into a little lump sum of money, and I was naive and put everything I had into it. It just completely failed.
Hodges found himself here. The same week, he says he heard from the city, applying for rapid rehousing. But as the months pass, so does his faith in the system.
I just don't know when we didn't matter. I called the mayor's office for 5 months. Excuse me.
A despair experienced by many of the more than 2,200 people living on Baltimore City streets today. The issue taken up last week.
All right, good morning, everyone.
When Mayor Brandon Scott announced the city plans to spend more than $90 million to combat homelessness.
Right behind you, a hole here, and our tent has a hole up here.
The city acknowledging the current system isn't working.
And it's time to change that now.
But just how soon and effective will it be? Fox 45 News reached out, receiving this statement from the Mayor's Office of Homeless Services that says more information will be released in March, but a timeline is still in the works. Adding they support the homeless and, quote, outreach teams visit daily to offer connections to housing and other services. Hodges says he's ready to get back on his feet.
And I'm not asking for a handout, I'm just asking for a start.
But he can't do that without housing.
I know there's a lot of jobs out there, but when you're homeless, you cannot do my trade.
For now, he waits.
It's hard to be like this. It's cold out here and people are dying.
Tucked away along Falls Road in Hamden.
Hello, how are you? Come on in, have a seat. All the seats are good.
Fiber lovers unite.
It's fun. We're having a good time here.
On this night, hands are busy.
They're deceptive, the bigger ones. It takes so much filling to fill them.
And the jokes are flowing.
I wasn't hoping to get lucky, but here I am, stuffing boobs.
Yes, you heard her.
How many innuendos can we put in this thing at once?
They're knitting, crocheting, and stuffing boobs.
I'm working my way towards a C cup.
Or knitted knockers, to be exact.
Isn't it a great name?
It really is.
A knitted knocker is a hand knitted or hand crocheted insert for your bra to simulate a fake breast.
It's a good stuffed boob.
The handmade breast prostheses are an affordable and comfortable option for women who've undergone mastectomies while battling cancer.
It was 11 years ago when I heard the words that no woman wants to hear, that I had breast cancer.
Barb Demarest was in her 50s when she had a mastectomy.
I was just shocked. And I felt disfigured. I felt less than. I woke up in the middle of the night crying.
But Barb turned her tears to action. Unhappy with the traditional options out there, she tried out a knitted prosthesis made by a friend and loved it so much, she started Knitted Knockers, now a worldwide organization.
It changed my life. I know it sounds dramatic, but I re-engaged at that point. I was not Barb with cancer.
Through her website, she's equipped knitters to make knockers for their own communities, posting the patterns and video tutorials for free.
Those patterns have now been downloaded well over 1 million times.
It is a lot of boobs.
In turn, local yarn shops like Melissa Salzman's Lovely Yarns are encouraged to make them and adopt local breast cancer clinics.
They take so long to stop.
These knockers will go to Mercy Hospital.
It's a way to take back your personhood after this thing like cancer claims it a little bit.
Just like us.
So these are little B cups. Although it looks kind of like an A cup.
They're all a little different.
I did no nipple. This is my first one. I just picked up from the front, I figure, you don't want the headlights on, depending on the outfit, This is the work-friendly pair.
Something for everyone, because while these knitters don't know who will be on the receiving end of their knockers.
My first grade teacher had breast cancer, and she actually died of breast cancer when I was very young.
They do know someone impacted.
Many people in my family's been affected by breast cancer and other cancers.
For Clara Jenkins, it was her namesake, her grandmother.
Our family lost her a couple months before I was born.
The connections are what make this project so meaningful.
For me, it's a way to dedicate my time and give just a different part of myself.
Turning a passion into purpose.
It just makes you feel good and warm that you are able to give back.
Because giving is about more than the act itself.
Part of being a good human is being a good member of your community.
It's about truly making a difference.
And this is an excellent way to be an excellent member of your community.
And these knockers are doing just that, filling bras and hearts with a sense of comfort and dignity once again.
I like to take my time with them.
In Hamden,
better to have too much stuffing than not enough.
Maxine Stryker, Fox 45 News.
In a city where kindness often doesn't make the front page, Carter Flagg takes a front seat.
I got thoughts on the future that I want to see.
On a mission to make Baltimore a better place, Carter decided doing so
Come out here a couple times a week.
could be as simple as pulling up a chair
We've been to a baseball game where people are get your popcorn here, or get your poems here.
and putting pen to paper.
Offer people an opportunity to receive a poem. Poems here. Got poems today. Get your poems here. Poetry. Get your poems here.
For complete strangers.
My friend Pat Boyle's birthday.
Okay.
And he would be so amused with an amazing poem.
Each poem starts with a few questions.
How do you spell your name? How's the day going? What's something you appreciate about yourself? I'm just gonna ask too many questions.
Getting to know his subject.
What's Pat all about? Can you tell me something you appreciate about Destiny?
Everything. Then Carter
Just a moment.
gets to work. And in a matter of minutes,
Can I read it to you?
Yes, please.
his personalized poems
Ready?
Yeah.
To Destiny.
are ready to read.
Roses are red.
Now, he's not technically a professional writer.
To Farabee, to Pat, to Chalet, who has stumbled upon this corner of free poems, a thoughtful listener, and raising 3 youngins, stories which I envision Olivia living herself, knows how to bring just a hint of a smile to those around her.
But he is certified in the art of compassion.
And they get hugs sometimes, and it's validating. It's funny, because, the poems are free, so this doesn't, pay the bills in any sort.
We need more people like this. But it just feels really nice knowing that there are decent humans out there that are gonna see you as another decent human.
And at the end of the day, Carter's only hope, his listening ear and his thoughtful words,
I just take what they give me and then give it back to him with, a little bow on it.
will remind others kindness doesn't come at a cost.
It's given me a lot of faith that when we do things without asking for anything in return, we'll be supported by those around us.
A smile, a good deed,
Thank you, Skip.
Have a good one.
or the perfect words.
Aw, I love that. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. I love that.
Show being kind is entirely free.
You can't quantify it. Yeah, you can't put any price tag on it, for
And
sure.
yet the payback is often priceless.
So I don't have any money, but I have a lot of... My heart is usually pretty full when I'm out here. Get your poems here.
Rebecca Pryor.
Read poetry. Get your poems here.
Fox 45 News.
I think it's just going to be an amazing experience. The weather's great, it's a bit hot, but it's a great day.
Thank you very much for spending your time with us on this Sunday. Baltimore.
We race on our own and very small, and to see the pros,
really exciting.
It's very exciting to see it, and the people are starting to come out, and people are loading up on the sides of the street. Everybody looks like they're going to have a good time.
Thank you, gentlemen.
It's a tough one to read. I mean, it's the first race of its kind, so no one really knows what the outcome will be.
These are the cream of the crop. The speed, the bike handling skills. It's just going to be an awesome race.
If you can ride the hills in Baltimore County, you can ride anywhere.
Well, they're not going to go super fast. That's as fast as cars go.
Oh my God, the team cars are coming. Are you ready?
Chopper.
Is the bike coming?
This is like absolutely major league.
As a cyclist, I'm blown away.
I'm not sure that people that aren't cycling fans can really grasp how big this event is.
Oh my God, that was awesome!
Using a cowbell. We only have one.
It's incredible to see them in the United States, let alone in, you know, our hometown of Baltimore. It's mind-boggling.
Baltimore's been just everything's been so down, so sad, so it's so good to see something so positive coming through the city.
And the finish downtown is just a perfect venue for this kind of event, so it'd be great to see that.
Well, this is how I celebrate cycling. I know they're going to zip by real quick, but I want to make sure the riders know we're here to celebrate them and celebrate the city.
Keep it going, let's see a smile!
A photo finish at the inaugural Maryland Cycling Classic. You couldn't ask for a better day.
I'm super proud to win here in America. It's been a while since we came racing here, and now to be back and winning is super nice.